Welcome to BomiChess. Today we're going to talk about one of the basic checkmating patterns, and this is checkmate with two bishops. So you're left with a king and two bishops, and of course opposite color, and the opponent has only king. So you want to checkmate the opponent. And especially if you're in a time trouble, you need to learn these methods to know it, by heart. So you don't have too much time to think about it. So the idea here is actually to start placing your bishop in the center of the board. You want to push the king toward the end of the board and then to push to the corner. So let's make the first move. Let it be something like bishop to g2. You're now occupying this long diagonal, and black king wants to stick in the middle of the board. So he's gonna try to play this king to e5. Now we put black bishop, dark square bishop here on b2. Now it's occupying this long diagonal, and black king is trying to be as near as the center as possible. So king goes to d6. And now we're going to place our bishops here. Bishop to e4, king to e6, and the other bishop to d4. So now we have this structure. We want to maintain this structure of the bishops. And now these two bishops are holding these squares, so the king cannot go back in the middle of the board. And they're also protecting these diagonals, so the king cannot go back to this part of the board. And now, once we have this structure, we are gonna bring our king into the action. So black is trying to be as close to center as possible, and we are going to bring our king. We can choose which side to go to, left or right. Here it's quicker to go to the left side, right? It's near. So let's go here. Black king is going to be here. We place king to f3, king to d6, and we bring our king to f4. So now we have this structure, two bishops and the king next to them. So black king go here, and now we put the bishop on e5. So now we are protecting this square. So black king cannot go back to that square. This one is protected by the bishop, and this one by the bishop and the king. And here is also protected by the black bishop, dark square bishop. So here black king must go to the 7th rank. He will go, for example, here. And now we have this bishop to d5. We are going to maintain the structure of the bishops. So we are guarding these four squares here. So king goes back here. King still likes to be somewhere near the center. And king goes to e7. We are gonna bring our king back into the action here. And here we have the king to d7. And now we don't want to place this bishop here, because after this black king can go to c6. So we want to push the king toward the end of the board. So here we can simply play, for example, our king. We can bring it closer to the edge of the board. So king to f6, sorry. And now this black king cannot go back here. Also, these squares are protected, so king need to go back to the last rank, to the 8th rank, and now king here. So we still want to have these bishops somewhere here. And now we play this bishop here to d6. So this bishop is now guarding these two squares, and black king is going to attack the bishop. Black king is going back to d7, and here white king is going to e5, protecting the dark square bishop. So black king must go back to 8th rank because all these squares are protected. So black king goes somewhere here, for example, and now we have this light square bishop here to c6. Better move for black here is actually to go with the king to e8, and now the king is trying to escape. If the light square bishop comes here, the black king has escaped here to f7. But we're not gonna play this bishop to c6, we're gonna play king to e6 here, protecting this square. So now black king still has to go back here to d8, and now we bring our bishop to c6, protecting this square. So now we have this king on the 8th rank, we have this structure, and if our king is on the right side of the bishops, we are gonna push black king to the left side. If white king was on the left side of the structure, we would simply push the black king toward the right side, because that's the quickest way. So here black king has only these two squares, black goes here, and now we can simply place bishop on c5. So black king goes here, and now the same move like before, king to d5, protecting this bishop. Bishop is guarding these two squares, so black king is trying to escape here to this square if we bring bishop to b6, but we're gonna play king to d6. And this square is guarded now by the king, this is guarded by the bishop. So black king goes back here, and now we have this bishop to b6. So we have this structure of the bishop still, and this king has only these two squares to go. So now we have almost checkmating pattern in place. But we first need to bring this king here to a6. This king has done its job. Now the black king is pushed almost to the corner, so we are gonna occupy this a6 square, where king is going to protect these two squares. So okay, now white starts with the here after black goes to b8. Now white king is going to c5. We have c8, b5, b8, and now white king goes to a6. And now, okay, the white king is in place for checkmate, and here black king goes to c8. So we want to prevent this king from going to c8. We want it to come here to a8. So our bishop should be guarding these two squares. So first we're gonna make some waiting move. We're gonna place bishop somewhere on this diagonal, but not here because this king is gonna simply capture it. So let's play bishop here to b5. And here the king must go to b8, and now we put bishop on d7, now guarding this square. So this bishop is guarding this diagonal, this one is guarding this square, so the king has only these two squares to go. So king to e8, and now we don't put the bishop here because this is stalemate. We don't want to put all that effort in place and then have stalemate, but we simply play bishop somewhere along this diagonal so that we are waiting for the king to come to b8. So for example, bishop to f2. And now this king has only one square to go to. This is king to b8, and now we can give check with this bishop here to g3. Check. So now this bishop is giving check and guarding this square as well, so the king cannot escape. King must go in the corner, and now we are going to bring this to the end. Bishop to c6 is checkmate. So now black king has nowhere to go. So this is how to checkmate your opponent when you have king and two bishops against only king. So this is not the optimal way, but is one that you can easily learn, and you can implement it in your game if it ever happens on the board. So I hope that you liked today's video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!